January 31st, 2026. The US Department of Justice releases 3 million Epstein documents and one name appears more than 1,000 times. Not a billionaire and not a politician, but a future queen, Crown Princess Mette-Marit of Norway. What is in those emails destroys everything she has claimed for years. In one email she writes, "You tickle my brain," to a convicted child abuser. In another email she jokes, "Paris is good for adultery." She even asks, "Is it inappropriate if I suggest photos of naked women as wallpaper for my 15-year-old son?" This is not just one mistake. This is years of lies, and tomorrow her son stands trial on 4 counts of rape. Stay with me because this royal house is collapsing live right before our eyes. In July 1996 at the Court Festival in Kristiansand, Norway, Nick Cave is performing on stage. In the crowd stands a 22-year-old waitress named Mette-Marit Hoiby. She is carrying a secret. She is 3 months pregnant by Morten Borg, a man with a criminal record for cocaine possession and assault. That night, she meets Crown Prince Haakon, the future king of Norway. He falls for her hard, but she disappears. 3 years later, at the same festival, Mette-Marit now has a 2-year-old son named Marius, and Haakon is determined not to let her slip away again. In 2001, they married. A waitress with a child by a convicted criminal became a princess in a perfect fairy tale, and Norway celebrated. But what nobody knew was that the past of Marius's father was not just a coincidence. It was a warning sign. 20 years later, Marius himself would end up behind bars for cocaine, for violence, and for rape. And his mother was busy building a secret friendship with the world's most notorious sex offender. How did she even get in touch with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein was not just any billionaire. He collected power, and power meant access. He counted Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton among his contacts. He also had Donald Trump, along with tech billionaires, scientists, and politicians. But he also wanted European royalty. In 2011, Mette-Marit met Epstein for the first time through mutual acquaintances. He had been convicted 3 years earlier for soliciting a minor for prostitution. Norwegian media had already written extensively about Epstein, calling him a convicted pedophile. Mette-Marit knew this. How do we know? Because she admitted it herself. According to reports in a 2011 email to Epstein, she wrote that she Googled him after his last email and it did not look good, with a smiley face. Read that again. She Googled him. She saw that he was a convicted sex offender and she added a smiley face. And then what? She kept in contact for 3 years. Ask yourself this: why would a princess and the future queen of Norway stay friends with someone she knows abused children? What did Jeffrey Epstein have that kept pulling her back? The files released yesterday contain hundreds of emails between Mette-Marit and Jeffrey Epstein from 2011 to 2014, and they are shocking. In an email from 2012, according to Norwegian media, Mette-Marit wrote to Epstein that he tickles her brain. What does that even mean? An intellectual connection with a man who systematically abused children. Another email from 2012, reported by VG, says Epstein was in Paris looking for a woman, and Mette-Marit responded. Paris is good for adultery, and Scandinavians make better marriage material, but who am I to talk? Wait, the wife of the future king is joking about adultery with Jeffrey Epstein? In an email from 2012, according to multiple sources, Mette-Marit asked this question: is it inappropriate for a mother to suggest photos of 2 naked women with a surfboard as wallpaper for my 15-year-old son? Stop right there. You are asking a convicted sex offender whether it is appropriate to give sexually suggestive material to your child. Her son, Marius, was 15 at the time. He is the same Marius who, 14 years later, stands trial for raping 4 women. Was this coincidence, or were we already seeing the first signs of a deeply dysfunctional family? Jeffrey Epstein responded to that email, and according to sources, he found it funny. He later called her twisted to others, saying she was not a typical royal. He was right, because this was not royal behavior, it was misconduct. In 2013, Mette-Marit stayed for 4 days at Epstein's villa in Palm Beach, Florida. The palace confirms this and adds that Epstein was not there, and that she borrowed the house through a mutual friend. Sounds innocent, right? Until you realize what that house actually was. This was the house where Epstein abused dozens of underage girls. Victims described it as the rape house. The villa had hidden cameras in every room and massage rooms where 14-year-old girls were forced to service Epstein and his guests. Mette-Marit brought her personal guru to stay there for those 4 days. She says she only briefly saw Epstein during that visit. But emails show they often dined together, went shopping, and made plans. According to reported email exchanges, Mette-Marit writes in 2012 asking what he has to do besides see her. And in 2013 she asks how island life is. The island is Little St. James, Epstein's private island, where he abused girls for years. Mette-Marit asked him what it was like, living there as if it were a vacation destination, and as if there were no stories about what happened there. The palace says she was never on the island. But why ask about it if you're not interested? She calls Epstein darling, charming and gentle in her emails. Those are not words for a vague acquaintance. Those are words for a friend. In 2019, after the Prince Andrew scandal exploded, the media discovered Mette-Marit also had contact with Epstein. She gave an interview saying she would never have had anything to do with Epstein if she had known how serious his crimes were. But we now know that is a lie. She Googled him in 2011, so she knew, and she still kept in contact until 2014. She also says she broke off contact in 2013, but that is also false. Emails show she was still communicating in 2014. The palace now admits she only stopped in 2014 because Epstein tried to use his relationship with her as leverage with others. She did not stop because he was a monster. She stopped because he was using her. Trond Noren Isaksen, a royal historian, says Mette-Marit gave Epstein royal legitimacy. She helped him polish his image after his conviction. That is exactly what Epstein wanted, royals in his network, so he could claim even a princess thinks he is normal. How many young women ended up in his web because of this? How many victims thought if a princess trusts him, it cannot be that bad? And then there is Marius. Tomorrow, February 3rd, 2026, he stands trial in Oslo on 38 charges. Those charges include 4 counts of rape. 1 count alleges intercourse, the other counts allege sexual acts when the victims were unconscious and could not resist. He is also accused of assaulting 3 ex-girlfriends. The indictment alleges he beat and kicked them, held one in a chokehold and filmed their genitals without consent. Prosecutors say he made death threats and assaulted a police officer. He is also charged with transporting 3.5 kilograms of marijuana and violating contact bans. If found guilty, he faces 16 years in prison. He denies the rapes but has admitted he became violent under the influence of alcohol and cocaine. He says he struggled with drug addiction and mental health problems for a long time. One of his victims, Rebecca Helberg Arntzen, ended up in the hospital after his attack. On recordings leaked to the press, you can hear Marius describing the incident as a little tap on the back. A little tap for something that put someone in the hospital. This is the son Mette-Marit raised, and the son she asked whether photos of naked women were appropriate as wallpaper for his teenage room. This is the son whose biological father already had a criminal record for violence and drugs. Norwegian media calls this the biggest scandal in 120 years of the Norwegian monarchy. And it is all coming together this week, live, Her son is on trial for rape, and her own Epstein connections are revealed while her lies are exposed. Can a future queen survive this? On February the 1st, 2026, Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre did something unprecedented. He publicly attacked the Crown Princess. I share the opinion that Mette-Marit has shown a lack of judgment. A Prime Minister criticizing a member of the royal family openly almost never happens, but the pressure is too great. Kjetil B. Alstadheim, the political editor of Aftenposten, says the question is whether Mette-Marit can still be part of the royal house. Sociologist Trond Blindheim adds that this undermines trust in the monarchy. People are asking what the king knew and what the palace knew, and why nothing was done. Those questions are legitimate. King Harold, who is the step-grandfather of Marius, only said last week that the matter is now in the hands of the court. He said, "Our thoughts are with everyone affected." There was no condemnation of Marius and no distancing from the behaviour of Mette-Marit. But sympathy for who? For the victims or for the family that failed them? Crown Prince Haakon and Mette-Marit are not coming to the trial because they are staying away. Mette-Marit is going on a private trip during the 7 weeks her son stands trial. Running away, hiding and denying is the royal pattern we have seen so many times before. Here is what nobody says out loud, but everyone is thinking. According to reported emails, did Mette-Marit help Jeffrey Epstein contact young women? The files show she introduced him to Scandinavian women, that she asked about his efforts to meet women in Paris, and that she joked about his dating life. In one email, Epstein writes to his associate Boris Nikolic that Mette is a mess. According to sources, Nikolic responds by asking what happened and if she is going to carry his child. Read that again. Epstein's own people were joking about Mette-Marit and pregnancy. Why? How intimate was this relationship? Mette-Marit has an incurable lung disease called pulmonary fibrosis. She may soon need a lung transplant, which is a life-threatening operation only used as a last resort. Some online speculation suggests this is the result of stress and of secrets weighing too heavily. These are unproven theories, but they show how great the distrust has become. People are asking these questions, and the palace gives no answers. She has apologized, saying yesterday that it is simply embarrassing. Embarrassing? Your son's 4 rape victims find this more than embarrassing. Epstein's dozens of victims find this more than embarrassing. This is not embarrassing because this is complicity in a system that protected monsters. Tomorrow, the trial begins, and it will last 7 weeks until March 19th. The world will be watching, and the media will record every detail while the victims testify. And Mette-Marit, she will not be there because she is hiding. But this is bigger than one trial because this is about a system. Andrew lost everything, including his titles, his home, and his name as prince. What will Norway do with Mette-Marit? She is the future queen. When Haakon becomes king, she becomes queen. Unless the Norwegian people say enough. The Prime Minister has already spoken and the media is attacking while historians are questioning. Can a monarchy survive with a queen who was friends for years with the world's most notorious paedophile? With a queen whose son stands trial for rape? With a queen who repeatedly lied about what she knew? Andrew had to fall, not because he wanted to, but because he had to. Now it is Mette-Marit's turn. And if Norway lets this pass, if they let her stay, then they are sending a message to every powerful figure in the world. You can be friends with monsters, and you can lie about what you knew, and you can escape your responsibility as long as you wear a crown. Is that the world you want to live in? Tomorrow begins the trial of the century. Subscribe to this channel so you get every update, and share this video before it gets censored. Let me know in the comments if Mette-Marit should resign as Crown Princess. Because this is what we do. We pull back the crown without the fairy tale. And we show what happens behind palace walls. We do not stop until the truth comes out. The Norwegian crown is on fire, and we are going to watch whether it survives. See you in the next update.